Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that your country has turned against itself. Your neighbors are choosing sides. Friends become enemies. Families are torn apart. The streets are filled with fear, violence, and uncertainty. This was Spain in 1936. What began as a political crisis soon exploded into one of the bloodiest civil wars in modern history. A war that killed hundreds of thousands of people. A war that became a testing ground for World War II. And a war whose scars can still be felt today. This is the story of the Spanish Civil War. In the early 1900s, Spain was a country in trouble. Many workers and farmers lived in poverty while wealthy landowners controlled huge amounts of land. Political corruption was common. People were frustrated and demanded change. In 1931, Spain's monarchy collapsed, and a new democratic government called the Second Republic was created. The new government introduced major reforms. It reduced the power of the church and the military. It expanded education and attempted land reform. Many Spaniards welcomed these changes. But others hated them. The country became deeply divided. On one side were socialists, communists, and workers who wanted more reform. On the other side were conservatives, monarchists, and religious groups who feared Spain was moving toward revolution. As political violence increased, the situation became explosive. Then, in July 1936, military officers launched a rebellion against the government. The Spanish Civil War had begun. The rebels became known as the Nationalists. Their leader was General Francisco Franco. They wanted a conservative and authoritarian Spain. The government supporters became known as the Republicans. They included socialists, communists, anarchists, and defenders of democracy. Both sides believed they were fighting to save their country. Neither side was willing to back down. Soon, Spain was divided. Cities, villages, and even families found themselves on opposite sides of the conflict. The war quickly attracted international attention. The Nationalists received support from Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy. They were supplied with aircraft, tanks, and military advisors. The Republicans received help from the Soviet Union. Thousands of volunteers from around the world also traveled to Spain to fight. Many saw the conflict as a battle between fascism and democracy. In many ways, Spain became a preview of the much larger war that was coming to Europe. One of the most shocking events of the war took place on April 26, 1937. The small town of Guernica was crowded with civilians. Without warning, warplanes appeared overhead. Bombs rained down on the town. Buildings collapsed. Fires spread everywhere. People ran for their lives. When the attack ended, much of the town had been destroyed. The bombing horrified the world. It showed how modern air power could devastate civilians. The tragedy later inspired Pablo Picasso's famous painting, Guernica. As the war continued, Franco's nationalist forces slowly gained the upper hand. The Republicans struggled with internal disagreements and shortages of supplies. By early 1939, their resistance was collapsing. On March 28, 1939, nationalist forces entered Madrid. A few days later, Franco declared victory. The Spanish Civil War was over. But the suffering was not. After the war, Franco established a dictatorship. Political opponents were imprisoned, executed, or forced into exile. Fear and censorship became part of daily life. Franco remained in power for more than 3 decades. The wounds left by the Civil War lasted for generations. Families who had fought on opposite sides carried those memories for the rest of their lives. The Spanish Civil War was more than a conflict between two armies. It was a struggle over the future of an entire nation. Hundreds of thousands died. Countless lives were destroyed. And the war became a warning of the even greater catastrophe that was about to unfold. Just months after Spain's Civil War ended, World War II began. Many of the weapons, tactics, and political ideas that shaped that global conflict had already been tested on Spanish soil. The Spanish Civil War remains one of history's most powerful reminders of what can happen when division, hatred, and extremism tear a nation apart. And even today, its lessons continue to echo through history. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more fascinating stories from history.